Hi, I'm Jeff Wimmer from Studio Cycles, and this is Indoor Cycling 101, what to look for and avoid when buying a used indoor bike. A lot of different things to talk about in this session: home bikes, refurbished bikes, buying bikes from used fitness equipment companies, the list goes on and on. The first thing we'll talk about is buying a used home version bike. Home version bikes, like a Johnny G Spinner Fit, Johnny G Spinner Sport, which are produced by spinning.com. Those bikes tend to be bought and sold rather quickly. It's an impulse bike. It's a decent bike, but it is an impulse bike. I guess the big issue with buying a used home version bike is that typically when those bikes are bought and put together, they're not put together with much care, and they're used whether they're in adjustment or out of adjustment, which typically they can be out of the box. One thing about buying a used home version bike is to recognize the difference between a home version bike and a commercial bike. Home version bikes such as the Spinner Sport, the Spinner Fit, it's going to be a lot lighter bike, a lot lighter flywheel, a lot lighter frame. Basically the whole feel of the bike is going to be less than that of a commercial bike in pretty much all arenas. If you're looking at buying a used home version bike, you definitely want to get on the bike and ride it. Engage the resistance, adjust the towers, make sure everything is working correctly. Check for loose drivetrain. A loose drivetrain on a home version bike is a really bad sign, because a loose drivetrain on a home version bike really stands out, and if the bike was used with that drivetrain or the chain being loose, it could do damage to either the flywheel sprocket or the chain wheel. The other thing is that home version bikes, again, they tend to be put together rather carelessly, so look at the bike in detail, top to bottom, head to toe, check everything. I sell, at studiocycles.com, I sell the Spinner Fit, brand new, fully tuned, fully adjusted, with an extended 2-year warranty, and I upgrade the pedal. The pedal on the home version bikes tend to wear out really, really quickly, but I will usually, with that package, we'll upgrade the pedal. We'll put a commercial basket pedal on the bike so that the pedal won't give you problems within a few months. On to buying a used bike. There are so many people selling used bikes online, on Craigslist, on eBay. Just everywhere you look online, there are used bikes for sale. These are two examples of used commercial bikes. This is the original Schwinn Johnny G Spinner Pro. This is an excellent example of that series of bike. This is probably a 15-year-old bike, but it was one of those bikes that just didn't have much use, and it was stored for a long period of time. So we bought it, we tore it completely apart. Everything inside this bike has been replaced as new. One thing to understand about commercial bikes is that they never wear out. Commercial bikes typically are rolled over by clubs or fitness facilities or private studios because they start looking really crappy, because they haven't been maintained from an aesthetic standpoint, and or the internal parts start to wear out on the bikes, the member complaints rise, and they're forced to get new bikes. So a lot of the bikes that are for sale online that are used have been rolled over by fitness facilities, which means they have hundreds, if not thousands, of hours on them. With spin bikes or indoor group cycles, particularly commercial bikes, as the bike is used and classes happen and weeks turn into months and months turn into years, there are different areas of the bike that just get saturated daily, weekly, monthly with sweat. And the sweat causes rust and corrosion, and the sweat also tends to settle in the areas of the bike that need to be taken apart and dismantled when you're doing a refurbishing. So used fitness equipment companies typically will avoid in-depth refurbishing of the bikes. They'll get them, they'll focus on aesthetics, clean rust, put on parts that are easy to put on. And the one thing that screams used fitness equipment company is a warranty. What's the warranty that they provide with the bike? You can take a commercial bike, and again, commercial bikes typically never wear out. You can take a used commercial bike and you can tear it completely apart, rebuild it from the inside out, and you've basically got a brand new bike on the inside. My company, we offer a lifetime warranty. We started lifetime warranties and we do lifetime free parts replacements, even on a bike that's 15 years old, because essentially the inside of the bike is brand new. Bearings, chain, pads, all the incidental parts have been replaced and they're brand new. So when a used fitness equipment company sells a bike for $300 and it has a 90-day warranty, that's a glaring indicator that they probably didn't do much to the bike. Don't be afraid to ask questions. What did you do to the bike? Why does it only have a 90-day warranty? Did you replace the chain? Did you replace the bottom bracket? The bottom bracket on a commercial bike is the bearing assembly that the crank arms roll on, and that's an area that's an area or part of the bike that typically wears out and needs to be replaced in a commercial setting. Another indicator of a used fitness equipment or used indoor group cycle reseller will be the ad itself. When you're on Craigslist or you're on eBay or you're on whatever site it is you're looking at and you see an ad for an indoor group cycle and the price is really low and you're thinking, wow, that's a cool bike and the price is right and I don't have much of a budget. Does it look like the text was copied and pasted? Does the picture of the bike, typically what I see on Craigslist and even on eBay as well, is the picture of the bike won't match the text. They'll talk about a Johnny G Spinner Pro, which will be a Schwinn Johnny G Spinner Pro, which is black frame, black flywheel. And they'll have a picture of a Johnny G Spinner Elite, which has a black frame and a red flywheel. Or they'll talk about a Star Trek Spinner Pro, brand new as a demo, and it'll be a black frame with a black flywheel that's 7 years old. You can't have a 7-year-old demo. A demo typically means a few hours or even a few days on the bike. So there are a lot of indicators, and you can always email me questions. Here's what I do. I spend a lot of time with people that buy bikes, typically on the phone in conversations. I talk about what they're looking for, what they're used to, what the application is. Is it just you? Is it your husband? Is it just you? Is it your wife? Do you have kids? Even how old are the kids? They may or not be safe to use the bike. But you should typically be able to get a good commercial bike that's been refurbished, really refurbished, which by definition means torn apart and put back together with new things, new parts, new replacement parts, in the $400 to $600 price range. That's my price point for, and I don't refurbish anything other than Star Trek or Schwinn indoor group cycles, whether it's a Schwinn Johnny G Spinner Pro or it's a Star Trek Johnny G Spinner Pro. And it's a little confusing, but both companies have made the same models as they've evolved and gone through changes. One other thing about buying a used bike, particularly a commercial bike, is does it have clip-in pedals? Are you someone who's been taking classes in a gym and you've acclimated to using cycling shoes? You go to a used fitness equipment company, they have 100 bikes. There are warehouses in Los Angeles that are 50 to 100,000 square feet. They'll have 500 bikes in there, and it's like, go ahead and pick a bike. It's like, which one do I pick? When you pick that bike, does it come with clip-in pedals? And if it does come with clip-in pedals, are they beat up and broken and they don't work, they're unsafe? When you come to me, bring your shoes, hop on the bike, clip in, try the bike out. Apply resistance at all different levels, engage the drivetrain.